Ladies and gentlemen, let's see and make sure that everybody can hear us as we get going here. I apologize for the rudeness as we get going through here. The microphone's not picking up, but we got audio for that. Let's try to get the audio for the actual desktop. I apologize. Here we go. Let's see, do we have the microphone, the Turtle Beach headset? Okay, so hopefully everybody can hear me as we get going. Um, and here we go. I apologize by that. I apologize for the delay. So here we go. Brian Douglas, he's coming through the top part of the track as he's coming around the bend here. Looks like he's going to go a little bit wide. He's going to let Chrysler Yort through here in that McLaren, and he is looking super racy. He's looking for a little bit of a redemption season for himself in that McLaren as he comes through. Definitely be an interesting one to see how he performs here. Well, let's see what he does as he comes down through the chicane here. In that McLaren looking nice and tight. Nobody set a time yet. So we see Kevin Tarrant in that number 22, Ricky Scott, Andrew Cooper, Peter David. LeBron, he's looking super strong. See what Yort, he's coming through. Yort's going to be the leading car coming through. And we see car 69. He's going to be right behind Yort. We'll have to keep an eye on that. 69. Yep, that's Andrew Jaschke in that BMW. Let's see what comes through. Through the final chicane. Let's see where York puts himself. He was sitting P3 in practice. We got 15 minutes left. Let's see what York does. Cross the line with a 221. Andrew Jaschke comes across the line doing a 220.2. Let's see who else we have. We're going to start getting numbers rolling in. Andrew Silva, he's 1.5 seconds off the pace there. And everybody else is starting to flow in as we get going here in this race. Definitely have to keep an eye on this. Daniel Roseland, he's about 3.4 off the pace. Cole Bennett, he's about a half a second off of Andrew Jaschke as we come through.
Nothing. I'm restarting. I gotta restart, dude. My computer's freezing up. I'm having to. I'm glitching out. Is what they're saying. So yeah. So go ahead. Continue with what you're doing. I'm not going to bother you. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, I apologize for that for ladies and gentlemen, but we have Cole Bennett. He's able to put himself half a second off the pace of Andrew Jaschke, but our reigning champion that we are waiting on Aiden Hasbrook to see where he sets his lap time as we go through here. Let's take a look and let's roll down the order. Everybody, let's see. Let's take a look and let's see who's got some pace. Daniel Rosso, he's up 8/10. Tim Wilkins, he's 5.6 backs off of Andrew Jaschke. As we go through here, let's see. Looks like Casey Bennett, he's about 5.4 off the pace. He's sitting in the pits. Who else? Peter David, he's about 8/10 up. Let's try to find a driver who has not set a time. Aiden Hasbrook, he's 2.4 off the pace. Off his time right now as he's coming through the final chicane as he's about to cross the line. Let's see what he can do. Puts it on pole with a 2 minute 17.2 2 in qualifying. So that's going to put him in provisional pole. But it looks like Jacob Michel is not going to be coming out as we take a look at someone else. Let's see, who else do we have? Not at the time. Tristan St. Louis in that BMW. He's coming through. Definitely we have a yellow yellow flag. What's happening, Richard Scott? Huge shout out to you, good sir. As you are out here, let's definitely have to keep an eye on you. Let's see if we can find you, Mr. Ricky Scott, 84, coming through the back end of Spa. Let's see what he can do with that Knox Racing McLaren. He's looking super racy today. He was definitely sweating the track a little bit, trying to set some fast laps. Let's Race Taylor, 217, damn. As we go through here, let's keep an eye on the drivers as they go through. Let's see what Ricky Scott does. Does not look like he sets a time to slot himself up. Does not look like he's... Let's see what else we got here, ladies and gentlemen, as we go through here. Ricky Scott did not set a time. Looks like he invalidated, but, you know, let's take a look. Say Stefan Buckley, the driver who participated in our endurance event last season at Kailami. He was my teammate. What a wonderful driver he is. He's coming through here on the back half of this track. He is a driver that has not set the time, so we're going to be following along a lot of these drivers that have yet to set a time here as Stefan Buckley through the final chicane in the Audi. What can he do as he comes onto the straightaway and he's about to cross the line? What can he do? Can he improve his time? He slots himself into the top 10, 4.6 off the pace of Aiden Asbrock. York still 2.7 sitting in that P2 spot. So let's see. Let's take a look at Gomez. Gabriel Gomez. He is in that BMW as well, rocking that beautiful red, yellow, and black car as he's coming through here in the final chicane. And looks like someone joined in. Oh, he is definitely going to get a massive penalty. We try to ask drivers to join in not during qualifying. And it looks like he joined in during qualifying, and there was a bit of a lag spike. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one to take a look at here for the things. Little Taquito in the chat who's sitting P1. How are you, good sir? You look like you're doing well as Gomez is still trying to make something happen here. Does not set a time, but we're going to keep an eye on Ricky Scott's 9.6 off the pace in the McLaren as he's coming off around the back half of the track. It's definitely be an interesting one. We'll definitely have to see what he does. So we have 9 minutes left to play. I apologize to everybody who was following if everything seems a little bit all over the place. We had a little bit of a technical issue. Let's see what Ricky Scott does. He's off onto the main straight, and then we'll jump over with Kevin Charance. See what he's capable to do. Can Ricky Scott put a time in? He does not put a time in. Looks like he's still trying to set something with 9 minutes left to play here. And let's take a look. Where is Kevin Charance? Let's jump along board. Here he is. He's looking super strong in that Porsche as he's coming through. Now as he starts to progress his way on the downhill of Spa. Now for those that do not, Kevin Charance is from New Zealand. What an amazing driver he has been. He was with us last season. He's definitely looking super racy and performance as Cole Bennett manages to slot himself into P4 here in the overall scene. And Lou Panarura, who is a new driver who comes from us through Sim Lounge. What an amazing gentleman he is. I have had a chance to learn and talk with him as well here in the series. He's definitely an interesting man to talk to. He's managed to bring himself up to P7 here into qualifying. Definitely be interesting to see what he can do and what he can set. So we're going to follow along Kevin Charance and see what he can set on his lap times. As we see Dominant Square, he is out on his fast lap. Let's see, do we have any new drivers? Mr. Biscotto of the P13 car. We're going to quickly jump over to Jonathan Biscotto and just give him a huge shout out in that Aston Martin as we wait to see where Kevin Torrance is going to be number 912. Looks like he is making his way back through the back straight in that Porsche as he runs that line a little wide to get that beautiful run out of that corner there. As he's approaching the final chicane, here he comes. What can he do? Can he put that car into the top 10 as the drivers come around? You see the spread of these drivers are absolutely amazing with where they're placing themselves. As we see Casey Bennett, the cousin of Cole Bennett, is sitting there all the way down in P22 there. Still has yet to set the time that he knows he can set. Looks like he's just off the pace a little bit here at Spa with that BMW, which is definitely an interesting one. He's able to keep track, but let's jump aboard some of the drivers that are up here in the top, see where they're at. As Stefan Buckley's up 1.2 seconds just on the downhill alone as he's flying through here. Right now, Aiden Hasbrock looking super strong with the overall performance of that McLaren. We see Buckley catching a lot of that curbing as we come through. Did Michelle leave? It shows that he's in the pits, and I'm guessing he did leave the race, which is, in my opinion, is going to cause him to be completely DNF and removed from the league as a whole. But that's definitely something that we will be in discussion with. But here comes Stefan Buckley. He is 0.6 up on his time as he's coming through here on the back half of the track up to the final chicane. If he stays with it with 0.6, this should slot him up into that P8. So let's see. Now he's up 0.7 coming into this last corner. He dropped a couple. Can he gain some on the acceleration out of the hole? Boom, he slots himself P10. 1/10 away from Don Queen. As we see Jonathan Biscotto, the number 14 car in the Aston Martin. He is 0.9 up on his time as he's coming up down the Kemmel straight into this chicane. Nice braking, utilizing all the curb he could possibly use as he comes around the bend. Here he goes on the downhill. Ben Aurora is a beast. Go, Cole, go. Ben Aurora is a beast. He's showing his huge performance. The question is that everything that he has with 5 minutes left to play? Can he put his car up by Cole in the P4 spot where Cole Bennett is in that Audi Evo 2? As we see, we're going to run right along board Biscotto here real quick and see what he can do. Kevin Torrance does not look like he has set a time yet. He's still sitting P26, still working his way up the grid. As we go through, Biscotto coming on around the back end here as he's coming up to these double right-hand turns. Definitely looking super strong and super racy here. He's still looking good. He's up 2 seconds, so 2 seconds would put him at 3.2. And based off of that, just off of 2 seconds alone, that should put him up to P5, P6 around there. But everybody knows the final chicane is the one that will tell him of where he's going to be. And here goes Jonathan as he's coming through the backstrip up to the final chicane. Heavy on the brakes, spitting fire and everything for everybody. Here he comes through, utilizing all the corner he can possibly use as he's getting on the gas. Looks like he's still up 2.1 as he's about to cross the line. What does he do? That slots him up 6, right behind Andrew Cooper. 0.067 off the pace of Andrew Cooper. So now the question is Andrew Cooper going to have to jump back out and try something else? As we see. Now let's take a look, see who else is up on their time. As we have Josh Kimball in the Lexus, the Apollo Racing Club Lexus. Huge shout out to him for coming out here and participating with us in his 3rd season here at GTMR as we come through the final couple bends and around the corners as we go. Let's see where he's set. He's still up 0.5. Alejandro Martinez is up 0.8 on his time in that Ferrari. As they go through here, what can he do with this Lexus as they come through? Let's see. Heavy on the brakes. The Lexus looking super smooth and super clean. He's up 0.7 now coming out of that corner. 8. He's picking up some time. 0.8 will slot him up pretty far. Ooh, he must have invalidated somewhere. Now, where's Alejandro? Alejandro's coming on the back half of the... through the final chicane. Here he goes. Nice and clean. Rubs a little bit of the curb. He's still up 9/10 on his time. Here he goes. And across the line, he is matching Josh Kimball the best that he possibly can. Moving up a few slots. Tim Wilkins. Tim Wilkins was running with us for most of the couple of seasons. He originally had the McLaren car, and now he's switched over to the Honda as he is racing with us. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see how he performs here with 2 minutes left to play on the downhill. But he's still up 6/10 on his time, and he is the fastest driver out on the track, as G. Gomez still has yet to set a time. Let's take a look. Is Michelle here? He is here. It looks like he's coming out with that. So we're going to ride along board Tim Wilkins as he comes through. Tim Wilkins coming through the back half of the track. We'll definitely see where he's looking about 4/10 up on his time. 4/10 will put him up against his main rival, Alan Zhu, in that Porsche. Alan Zhu definitely trying to get Tim into that Porsche at the beginning of the season, but Tim didn't want it. He wanted to stick with his better mid-engine car, and that was the Honda as they come through the final chicane, and he accelerates out the hole. What is he going to do with 1 minute left to play as he's about to cross the line? Does he improve? He does not. He's going to stay right behind Alan Zhu, about 4/10 off the, no, about 3/10 off the pace of Alan Zhu in that Porsche. What a shame there. So let's take a look who is improving. And here we have Louis in the BMW, and there is Pfeiffer in that Lexus. They are going toe to toe, and Louis just needs a big toe. He's trying to make it improve. But if Pfeiffer's on a fast lap, he does not have to give up on that lap with 33 seconds left to play. Ooh, he lost the back end just a little bit. That's going to lose him on the time, but he still has time left on the clock, about 20 seconds worth, to set up a fast lap as we go through here. Stefan Buckley, he is about to cross the line. He's 1.1. He's up to P7. He's reeling in Andrew Cooper even more. These two drivers are just going toe-to-toe as they go through. Let's take a look at something. Chrysler Gore, he's in the pits. Jonathan Biscotti, he's 4/10 up on his time as he's going down the hill. Let's follow a driver who's a lot faster. Alan Zhu, 1.2 in the Porsche as he's coming through the final chicane as they come around up the hill. Up the main straightaway he goes. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. What can he do as he's about to cross the line? That's going to put him P17 away from Tim Wilkins, but ahead of Tom Cassiani, 0.010 ahead. Have Tristan San Luis as he's coming through. Number 2. Driver car number 2. Aiden Hasbrock, he's going to cross the line. He doesn't have anything. Andrew Jaschke, where is he? He's still working on down the hill. He has not improved at all on his time. He's definitely not doing anything. Ricky Scott puts himself P10, but he's sitting in the pits. What an amazing lap he had. We didn't see that. Tristan San Luis, he's up 9/10 on the back half of the track as he's coming through. What can he do? Can he put his car higher? As we go through, here he comes in heavy on the braking zone and around the couple last corners onto the main straight. What is he going to set? As he accelerates out. And across the line, that's going to put a P13. Who else do we have on track that's still running? Number 69. Where is number 69? Andrew Jaschke is up 2/10. Looks like Jacob Michelle did not go out into the race. He did not set a time. What a shame there, as Andrew Jaschke is about to cross the line. He improves a little bit, but he's still off the pace. Josh Kimball, apologize by that. He's up 8/10 as he's coming through the final corner. What can he do as he's about to cross the line? He crosses the line. That's going to put him P15. What an amazing qualifying session, ladies and gentlemen, as these drivers are set up, and we are waiting for the start of the race to get going. Let's go, Ricky Scott. That is right. Let's go, Ricky Scott. where he put himself up into that position, as we are going to jump along board and we're going to look at this track, guys, to give you a better understanding of how this track looks overall. As you can see, when the drivers come out from the pits and they make their way down into that tight hairpin of turn 1 as the start of the red sector 1, and then they start to make up their run up the Eau Rouge. It is definitely an interesting one, to say the least, as these cars start working their way. It's definitely going to be something to keep an eye on, to see how these guys do as they go through here. It's truly something to be special about. That is one thing as we go through here. Now let's take a look at here. Drivers are going to be waiting. We'll just do a quick rundown with all the cars here in the grid order. As you can see, we are inside Aiden Hasbrook's car, but we're going to back out of it. We're going to take a walk down the grid here, ladies and gentlemen. And there's Aiden Hasbrook in that silk cut McLaren with Andrew Jaschke P2, Chrysler York in that P3 Vodafone McLaren. As we see, Casey Bennett pulls out a P4 ahead of his cousin Cole Bennett in that Audi, in that beautiful custom design. He spent weeks designing that paint scheme, and I honestly feel like it is truly amazing, and it looks wonderful. And here we go, Andrew Cooper, the main rival between Cole Bennett. Those two drivers in Sim Lounge battling it out all the time, as we have Stefan Buckley in the red Audi working his way up there. And Jonathan Biscotti sliding himself into P8, the new driver in GTMR. A lot of the new drivers showing very strong paces. Bruce Hopkins, one of our drivers who've been around a long time, he's managed to slot himself in to P9 with Ricky Scott. Beautiful run on him with the Knox Racing McLaren, slotting himself up to P10. And now here we have AJ Silva. He used to race the Ferrari, now he's with Bentley. And then Louis brought himself, he is another Sim Lounge racer, has moved himself into P12, which is definitely looking good. Tristan San Luis, P13. Don Queen in the BWT Audi, slotting himself into P14. Josh Kimball in the Lexus, slotting himself P15. Douglas slotting himself into P16. Alejandro Martinez, 17. Alan Zhu bringing himself into 18. Tom Cassiani in the Honda, slotting himself into P19. Peter David, we still have 26 seconds left to go. We're probably going to lose the grid here as we start to take off. Peter David in P20. Daniel Rhodes with 21. Tim Wilkins, 22. James Parks, 23 in the McLaren. As we get started, we're just waiting for the drivers to make their way down the grid here as we get going. I just want to say a huge shout out to all the viewers coming out and watching. Thank you again. If there's a driver that you would like to see, let me know, ladies and gentlemen. We will get to them as soon as we can. As we get started here, as we watch Aiden Hasbrook making his way out of the starting slot in P1, making his way up Eau Rouge and Radion, taking his time, trying to make something happen. For those that do not know, Lane Zander, the championship competitor to Aiden Hasbrook, could not make it. He had a prior engagement, so he missed out on the race, which is a shame. Also, Jamie Morrison, huge shout out to him as well. The BMW driver, he was looking so much forward to this race. Don't know if he's going to make it in, as the race is already about to start here as they go through. So, but for these drivers getting ready here, they've heard their pit strategies, they've heard the rules, they've heard the penalties. They're getting going. This is going to be one of the longest formation laps that we've seen here. But let's take a huge shout out to the drivers in the back that we may have missed. Daniel Rosso in that Porsche, followed by Tim Wilkins in that Honda as we were doing the grid walk. So we have a little bit of time to talk about the driver. James Parks, he's definitely looking super strong. He's doing the Kimi Räikkönen tire warm. He's just going to stay straight while everybody else is warming up their tire. Gabriel Gomez looking super strong. He came out. He was a little bit gone for a little bit. He had a little bit of a mix-up during registration. He decided to go for the M6 originally compared to the M4. I actually had to ask him, hey, you sure about that? And he goes, oh, My bad. And here we go, Kevin Terence, the New Zealand driver in that Porsche. He's definitely looking super strong here at P25. But, you know, anything can happen. He can work his way up as Dominic Square P26. He came in, but there could be some penalties towards his name as he kind of came in during qualifying that spiked the grid a little bit. So he may be in a little bit of trouble. But Matt Artem, he finished his season with the race that he was on, and he told me he was going to show up late. A gentleman from Pittsburgh, he's here to race with us in that Audi. He's making his way through the group. And Jacob Michel definitely looks super strong at Silverstone. Be interesting to see how he performs here at Spa-Francorchamps as he makes his way up, and he'll be rounding out the grid in that BMW. But Matt Artem looking possibly super strong to make his way through. Definitely was telling me that he was racing with the RCI boys in their GT3, GT4 category. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see. We want to wish Lil Taquito a complete good luck. And Knox Stilts, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Let's go, Dan. Let's see, where is Dan? I don't see through the grid. I do not see Dan. Thank you for the follow, Els. It's sad to not see you here racing with us. We hope that you see us here in at Spa, but I'm pretty sure you had some stuff that you had to take care of. It's fine. You still have 7 more races to go. All it means is you just have to practice for Donington now, Els. So it says the race starts at 9 p.m. on my sim. Interesting, because we updated it. We made sure we updated it because there was a little bit of a mishap with that. And it was supposed to start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it should have showed it to you as 8 p.m. considering the fact that you're Central Time. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as the cars are approaching the final chicane. And the drivers are making their way through. We have 30 degrees, track temp 24 on the air. I know, but this is my favorite track. You know what? Hey, this season 3 is all, we have named it the Redemption Race. The reason why we've named it the Redemption Race is because all these drivers are fighting for something to be something great in this race. And that's why you know what? The next 7 races, claim it as your redemption race as these drivers are coming through. I forgot that the lineup is super long here at Spa. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I was getting a little bit too hyped. Here we still have to wait for them to make it to the other corner as some of the drivers are moving out of the way. Oh, it's okay, but hey, you know what? Cheer it on. Cheer it on. Let's let's find you a driver. And good luck, everyone. Yes, very much so. Good luck, everyone. As we cross our fingers as they approach Eau Rouge. And here we see, looks like Aiden. Ooh, looks like Andrew Jaski's going to try to cover a little bit more of the inside here at the start in hopes that nothing is going to happen. But we're going to switch over to Helicam as we give you a little bit of a drone shot as the green light goes. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, up the Eau Rouge as the cars are making their way. Everybody's looking super clean. I'm still crossing my fingers. I hope you are, side by side as they make their way up. No incidences as they make their way down the Camel Straight as Aiden Hasbrock pulls a gap on Jaschke. And here comes Chrysler York making his way, looking on the inside as they come through into the first chicane as we make our way side by side. Ooh, looks like we're going a little bit wide. Looks like Douglas overshoots the corner and tries to make his way back through. Super clean as everybody's going side by side as Louis trying to make it through as we see Alejandro Martez in that Ferrari definitely looking to battle him out down into the hairpin. These drivers go. It's like Don Queen in the BWT. He loses the back end, but he manages to recover. They are looking super strong. Looks like a little bit of tap out of Tristan St. Louis all over the back of Josh Kimball in that Lexus as they were both battling it out in qualifying as they make their way through the grid. Now the pace is starting to pick up as these drivers are starting to go 1-to-1 as they come down the hill. So let's take a look. We're going to slot down and take a look and see how these drivers are doing here in the grid. Pfeiffer's going to cover up the inside as they come through. Now you see a BMW, and that's Michel. He's making his way through. He's on the back end of Daniel Rosso actually made it through. I apologize for keeping up with everything as it's updating. As Jacob Michelle, he is now right behind Brian Douglas. He's making it up as much as he possibly can here. As Brian Douglas goes super wide, Michelle down on the inside. He's going to make his way up to Alejandro Martinez as we start to see the grids looking super strong. 97. Looks like Dominic Square lost out a little bit. Same with Gabriel Gomez. Their pace is just a tad bit off as we keep following as the drivers. Oh, as Michelle now goes down on the inside on the heavy brake. Josh Kimball's going to cover the inside and make him work as these cars now going side by side as they go through. If someone is typing in chat, I apologize. I may not be able to see as I'm trying to focus on this as much as possible. As Michelle, now he's going to make the move on the inside. Kimball has to cover the brakes. Here they go, nose to tail. Will Kimball get... Ooh, Kimball loses the back. He's going to check up right behind Michelle's. Michelle's making his way up the grid through Eau Rouge. Here we go, 513. Who is 513? That's James Parks. Looks like James Parks possibly got a little damage. Michelle running a lot of the curb as they make their way up into Radion. Onto the Kemmel straight they go. Louis is trying to make something happen around Tristan San Luis. He's going on the outside. Michelle looks to go on the inside, but he doesn't, so now he's going to force Tristan San Luis to make a move. Now this is going to create a little bit of a switchback on him if he takes the inside line, which he does. As you see, Tristan San Luis has to make a little bit of space for him as he comes through. As Jacob Michelle is starting to make his moves through as we go. Now let's make our way up to the front of the grid here as we see Andrew Jaschke. He's 2.6 off the pass of Ada Hasbrook. Ada Hasbrook has pulled away. Casey Bennett has made work on Chrysler York, but Chrysler York now 8.86 away from Casey Bennett as they make through. Now Stephon Buckley, one of our E-Seniors drivers here in the Audi is, hello, hey, Wolf, welcome, welcome. Hopefully your meetings are a little bit easier than it is here. Yeah, hopefully the meetings out in Singapore are a lot better than out here. As we start to see, it's Jonathan Biscotti. He is in that Aston Martin, the newer driver, making his way up to P8 around AJ Silva in that Bentley, and he's trying to make everything happen that he possibly can through the grid. Definitely super strong battling. I'm most likely going to lose my voice tonight. With 55 minutes left to go, what can these drivers do as Michelle and Louis are both on the back of Don Queen here in that BWT? The BMWs are definitely looking to make a move. Michelle gets to Louis, but now will Michelle get Don Queen? He's going to try to outbrake him. He's looking on the inside. Don Queen possibly going to cover the door. He doesn't. Michelle accidentally overshoots it. Don Queen's going to have to take the escape route. That is perfectly acceptable due to the fact that Michelle blew the corner and shut the door on him as they come through. But now Michelle is on the battle of Louis right behind him, and Louis is going to take a look on the inside, but he checks out. But right behind them, Tristan San Luis and Josh Kimball and Brian Douglas are all in a freight train right behind them as they make their way up Eau Rouge and make their way through. Huge shout out to AR Wolf. Definitely making his work. Louis has the X Factor, and how is that? Let's Race Taylor. How does he have the X Factor? Because he is a Sin Lounge member, and I'm pretty sure that's what you're about to say. As he comes through onto the Camel Straight, and we see Jacob Michelle now making his way on the inside. Josh Kimball, Don Queen, I apologize, is starting to make the move and possibly close the door a little bit to make him happen. These drivers are racing. Now the grid is starting to spread out a little bit, and we get to see how these drivers all perform as they go around here in the bend. Michelle still making his way up the grid, and now Don Queen is definitely going to have to try to fight off Louis as he comes through. Louis is definitely going to try to take a look and peek his nose and probably try to cause Don Queen to make something happen here. As Louis, and Josh Kimball in the back with that Lexus. Looks a little squirrely. Here comes Louis on the inside. He's going to take a look. Don Queen's going to close the door. And here goes the Audi on the downhill. He gets a better acceleration. Ooh, looks like one of the cars is lost. 86. Don't remember who that is. 86. We'll have to keep an eye on that and see who that was that lost it a little bit. Let's jump back. But Louis is all over the back of Don Queen. This is possibly going to look at... Oh, hold on. That was 84. Number 84 was Ricky Scott. Ricky Scott looking a little wriggly here in the McLaren. Doesn't look like he has, looks like he's got a little side damage on that McLaren as he's making his way through. But hopefully he can make, I apologize, he can make something happen because I'm about to lose my voice. And here goes the BMW of Louis. He's going to try the outside. Don Queen's going to cover the inside. Down into the final chicane, Louis tries to lay brake. Don Queen catches him. You can see as the brakes, as Josh Kimball loses the back end under braking and overshoots the corner. There, that's going to allow Brian Douglas and Tristan San Luis through. As we see these two guys battling it out continuously. I apologize. Wouldn't be a race unless Ricky Scott lost it at least once. Well, you know what? He told us that in the voice, in the chat room before the race. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to spin at least once. And after I'm done, I'm going to do it with fashion and spazz. And I'll be perfectly fine as see these two drivers coming down the Campbell Straight side by side as they make their way through. As Aiden Hashbrook now separated himself 7.5 seconds from Andrew Jaschke here in this race. With Casey Bennett P3, Bryce York P4, Cole Bennett P5, Andrew Cooper P6, Stephon Buckley 6, Jonathan Moscato 8, AJ Silva 9, Jacob Michelle 10, Bruce Hopkins 11, and now we're with Louis as he's made his way around Don Queen. We're going to drop back down in the order. Matt Artem, one of the newer drivers, he is all over the back of Ricky Scott here. He was going to finish up his race and come into us. Ooh, as he catches the brakes a little bit right behind Ricky Scott. Ricky Scott loses the back end as he snaps. Hopefully that does not cause a 5-car collision. Nope, Ricky Scott gets out of the way. Thank you, sir, on your spin. We're going to say that's a commentator curse and Dank Roma. What's part of it, ladies and gentlemen? As we see along Alan Zhu making his way through, but Peter David is making his way through as well. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one as these drivers are making it through. We're definitely going to keep an eye on all the battles as we go through. As we see Kevin Tarrant, he in that Porsche making his way through on this back half of the track as he's making his way on the back end as he's trying to chase down Peter David in that Aston Martin. As Alejandro Martinez in that Ferrari P21, it's about 1.2 seconds off the pace. Now within 37 seconds, the pit window will open for the viewers that are watching at GT Meister Racing. We have a 40-minute pit window, so this allows drivers to toss up all the strategies that they ever wanted to. So say if a driver's like, hey, I'm going to run a full quali run for 10 minutes, dive into the pits, change, full fuel, and just be on open track just so I can relax and race. As Dank Roma comes out, I meant lost it at least twice. Hey, you know what? Everybody has a chance to repeat what they have to say, and I fully accept it. As we go through, let's see where Ricky Scott is. He is down in P23. Hasn't lost a whole lot of spots here, though, compared to his P8 start of the race. I won't say that. We'll knock on wood for him. As we go through Dominic Square, looking at P24, as he's trying to chase down Ricky Scott in that BMW. He's looking super strong as we come down here. And look, James Parks, one of our fellow McLaren drivers here, he's trying to get Daniel Rosso in that Porsche as he's making his way down the Campbell Straight. He's trying to make something happen. Tim Wilkins is just not really feeling it here with this Honda here, but he is definitely getting a battle of a lifetime with Gabriel Gomez, as these two drivers once had a meeting here a couple seasons ago at Spa, but it looks like Gabriel Gomez has managed to keep himself in check through in that corner. He's just nose to tail as they battle it out as we go through. Now let's take a look at the closest battle. Matt Artem, the 414 Audi making his way through. Looks like he got Josh Kimball, and he's on his way to try to possibly catch up Don Queen as the pit window is open with 38 minutes and 52 seconds left to play here. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on who is going to pit and who is not going to pit. And it looks like the 777 car of Jamie Morrison's going to sit in the pit and at least watch everybody as it all progresses here. So now we're going to start going through the order as it looks like some of the drivers, let's take a look here. What's the closest battle we have, ladies and gentlemen? Tristan San Luis and Brian Douglas. These two drivers, the Bentley versus the BMW. But don't forget, there's an Aston Martin looming in the distance. So if one of those two drivers make a mistake, that Aston Martin's going to be there to make a move as they come down into the final chicane. Here they go through. There's some curbing as they come through. And here's that Aston Martin we were talking about. And what's right behind them? A Porsche. What's behind him? A Ferrari. And a Honda of Tom Cassiani rounding that out with this whole freight train as they start to make their way through here into turn one. Peter David looking super strong. I was talking to Peter David prior to the start of the practice session. He and I had a chance to catch up. He managed to get his computer working here for everybody, for himself, so that he can race with everybody. I apologize, and to participate, and that's truly amazing that he was able to get everything that he needed to taken care of and be a part of us. As we start to see Tristan San Luis, he's got the beautiful run on the Bentley. He's going to look on the inside. Is he going to send it? It looks like he is. Side by side they go. Looks like Douglas breaking a little bit earlier than Tristan San Luis as he sends it a super late. But now that's going to allow Peter David to make his way on Brian Douglas. But now Kevin Tarrant's in that Porsche. He's working his way up here as Ricky Scott, he is diving into the pits. He is going for the complete, total, 100% undercut here at this race. As they come through here in this race, this is battle for P19 and P18 are starting to develop extremely. Kevin Tarrant and Peter David, they battle each other all the time in the E seniors category as Kevin Tarrant takes an interesting line. He tries to go for the inside there. Curious at how that would set the car up as they come through that downhill left-hand turn as this battle starts to develop. As we also see develop of Daniel Rosso, and it looks like James Parks further back the grid. We'll get there in a second. But P20, number 29 car of Andrew Cooper has Stefan Buckley all over the back of him, which has Jonathan Biscotto all over the back of him. These guys are freight training, and now we have Jacob Michelle making his way through the grid, and here comes Stefan Buckley as he's starting to get his run on Andrew Cooper. He's going to take a look on the inside. Now is Andrew Cooper going to close the door? He doesn't. He's going to allow it to slip, but Buckley loses the back end a little bit, and it's going to slow him down. Here comes Jonathan Biscotto. He's getting the run on Stefan Buckley as they approach Eau Rouge. Here they go. What will the red Audi do? He gets a beautiful line on Cooper and gets the run up the hill, but he gets a little bit of a wiggle, and Biscotto gets the beautiful run. Here comes the V8 of the Aston. He's going to look on the outside. Oh, he switches back on the inside. Buckley covering the inside. Here they go. Will Biscotto send it? Ooh, Buckley covers so much. Not even a move under braking, just slowly slides his car over. As they come through and out of here, they start the downhill part of it. After the first hit on the wide, no traction. It's odd that I'm losing traction on a turn like that. I never do. I apologize, Mr. Knox. Hopefully you're able to reel yourself in today and get going. As Jacob Michelle now starting to make his way through here on the back end of them as these drivers are battling it out. As Aiden Hasbrook now separated himself 15.3 seconds off the pace of Andrew Jaschke. He's starting strong with this championship battle, and he's starting to become dominant here in this championship battle. And here they go. Buckley now looking at what happened. Here comes Jacob Michelle on the outside. Biscotto's going to cover the inside and make Michelle work it. He is also making him use those tires up more than what he really wants to. Biscotto goes super wide, runs the dirt, but he's going to have to give up the spot to Michelle. Now Michelle is going to be on Stefan Buckley here as he's made his way up to P8 here in this race. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move up a little bit to Chrysler Yort. Chrysler Yort's going to have Casey Bennett all over the back of him. Now Cole Bennett slotted himself up to P3. Both Bennetts have switched roles. Looks like there's a little bit of a team play between Audi and BMW. The Germany war has begun between the two as they come through. Now Chrysler Yort in that McLaren is going to have to make something happen with that Vodafone. Probably phone a friend if you get my drift. See, did anybody get that in the chat? Vodafone, phone a friend? No? Okay. All right, and here we go. Casey Bennett looking super strong on the back of York. Well, now York is also pushing on Cole Bennett here as we go through. Now let's take a look back on that grid here that we were talking about, number 42. Let's roll down with Brian Douglas as he has Alejandro Martinez and now Peter David all over the back of him. And it looks like Peter David was looking at possibly making a move here down the further of the grid as they go through. The question was, Brian Douglas said this was the 5th time that he's driven this Bentley here of his, and he was still getting used to it. And he was still trying to figure out how everything was going to play out here in this race. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one to see how he is going to actually make things happen as they make their way up to Eau Rouge. Here they go. And there's Tom Cassiani and Kevin Tarrant. Looks like Tom Cassiani just a little bit got the run on Kevin Tarrant and manages to sweep the Porsche and get ahead. For those that do not know, GT Meister Racing, we actually do points for the top 15, the MotoGP standings. So the top 15 drivers are definitely pushing to want to try to get as many points as they possibly can. Now we're going to jump along board Stefan Buckley as Michelle is trying to make his way up, and looks like Buckley's just shutting the door on Michelle, not allowing him through here on this race. Michelle's going to have to try something else to make Buckley to get past Buckley. Buckley's definitely making the wall for him and making it super hard to get through here in this race. Now here we got Jonathan Moscato. He is all over. He's making his way on the back. Now here comes Michelle. He's going to have to try to do a switcheroo on Buckley to get him so he doesn't start to try to block him as he comes through. Can he get the run on this Audi up into the chicane? Here comes the BMW nose to tail. Here they go. He's looking on the outside. Buckley's covering the inside. Super late braking, side by side they go. Can he pull the switch back here? They go. Ooh, Cole Bennett loses it coming out of what looks to be the final chicane. Yep, and he does, so he's going to lose back. Now Andrew Cooper is going to be there. Now Cole Bennett's going to have to cover up the breakdown. That's going to cause Buckley to go wide. He's going to catch curve. Here comes Moscato and Michelle. They're going to slot in. They're going to zipper, is what they usually call, as they come up to Eau Rouge. Now the question is, Buckley going to try to make this too wide? He doesn't, but Michelle makes it up the hill. Oh, Buckley, 3. Bennett's got a lot of damage. He's probably trying to stretch out his pit rotation. Oh, here comes the battle. Buckley trying the outside. Michelle covers the inside. Moscato's going to look on the inside. Are they going to try to make it 3 wide into the braking? They are not. Moscato's still going to cover the inside. A little bit of a tap. Moscato loses it. Ooh, that was on him for making that move down into that turn. As they go through, it's a shame to see him get a little bit of the damage, but he can still recover here in the Aston Martin. He didn't lose a whole lot of time as they go through here. As we're going to switch over to Andrew Cooper as he has Michelle, but we also have Cole Bennett, who is on the back end of Stefan Buckley as this battle is battling out with Cole Bennett in that Rich Energy 23 Tron Audi, as we like to call it. And down the hill he goes. Looks like he has a little bit of a damage on the rear end of his car. The car's a little squirrely. He's trying to make something happy as we switch aboard. Oh, Cole Bennett does the 4-wheel power slide around that corner. Catching a little bit too much curve there. Ooh, running a little wide, catching some dirt. As we're going to switch over to Casey Bennett. It's Casey Bennett trying to make something happen on Chrysler York. But here comes Jacob Michelle here, right behind them as they're starting to make their way through the grid. Super proud of this grid and what they're able to do and how they've been racing. They have been racing amazingly as they come through here. As Ricky Scott was the only one to dive into the pits, and he is still in P27 and making his way. It's trying to make something happen, and I congratulate him super much as they go through. And it looks like Andrew Cooper loses a little bit of the back end. And here comes Stefan Buckley on the inside of Andrew Cooper. Question is Andrew Cooper going to try to do a switch on him? He does. He looks on the inside. But is Buckley going to close the door? Buckley doesn't. Buckley leaves the door open a little bit wide. He catches the curve. This is now going to cause Cooper to get a beautiful run on him up to Eau Rouge and Raidillon. Here they go. Can Cooper make this stick and get the run? Buckley catch it using a lot of that curbing as they come up the hill. Ooh, here we go. Here's the McLaren, the green and white. Is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? He's looking. He's looking. Nope, he doesn't. He checks out of it. Oh, what a beautiful chance that could have been of making that move. We have 38 minutes left to play, ladies and gentlemen. 28 minutes left of the pit time as they come through. Jonathan Biscotto and Atrim are both in the pits, 13 and 14. The two newer drivers, they're going for a little bit of an undercut strategy here, and we've seen that play out sometimes here in these races. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one, to say the least, as they go through. It's Josh Kimball. He's still looking super strong here. He's P13. He's made his way up the grid. He's got Zoo about 10 seconds back. As we start to see, where is Zoo? Zoo is right there with Tristan San Luis right behind him. As they go through here, definitely keep an eye on them. Here they go down the hill. Can Tristan San Luis make something happen? It doesn't look like. We're going to switch back up to the front with Casey Bennett and see where they're at. As Michelle now looking around side by side. They are going to go around here. Ooh, Michelle makes it stick as he goes around the back part up to the chicane. Now that's going to allow Casey Bennett, if he can reel him in, to make it stick. He can probably try to use Michelle to catch Bennett, York here in this race on the back half of it. As Lou is on the back end of Bruce Hopkins. I apologize for the bouncing around, ladies and gentlemen. Just trying to cover all the battles here in this race. As we see Lou now all over the back of Bruce Hopkins. And we also have Cole Bennett on the back of Andrew Cooper. We're going to take a look at that here very shortly as these drivers are making their way through turn one. Doesn't look like Lou is really possibly making something happen as we see further up Cole Bennett. It's going to be on the back end of Andrew Cooper as we wait for the drivers to come up Eau Rouge. Will Lou get a run on the McLaren as he runs a beautiful line up the curves? Looks like he catches the brakes a little bit as we have a car coming out of the pits. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a Bentley, and that looks like a Bentley of... I'm going to guess that is a Bentley of Brian Douglas. It is a Bentley of Brian Douglas. He's going to be on fresher tires and a different fuel strategy. Definitely keep an eye on that and see where how he is going to perform. Let's take a look. Where is Cole Bennett? Cole Bennett is right there in P8 as he's on the back end of Andrew Cooper as they make their way down the hill. If one of the viewers have a driver that they would like to see, please let me know. I will try to pull that driver up as soon as possible so that driver can get a little screen time for you guys. As we see Cole Bennett, he is not making really a whole lot of effort, but he goes, ooh, power slide, here he goes. Slide to slide, here comes AJ Silva, he's gonna make it around. Cole Bennett definitely not having the race that he definitely wants to have. He's definitely losing out as we're gonna ride along board with our leader, Aiden Hasbrook. That's kind of just separated himself in this race. It's just kind of taking his time. As driver 513 has dived into pits. Who is 513? 513, James Parks. And here comes Aiden Asbrook. He's about to cross the line. He's looking super strong here in the race as we go through. As Michelle is now up to P4 as he made it his way around York. But now that's going to allow York to fall back to Casey Bennett as Casey Bennett starts to try to make some moves here in this race. And there we see Stefan Buckley up to P6 in that Audi. He's definitely having a wonderful start to his season. As we see AJ Silva, he has dove into the pits in that P11 spot in that Bentley, trying to make something happen for himself as well. And let's take a ride along board. Who do we have battling it out. It looks like it's going to be Bruce Hopkins, Louis, and Cole Bennett. Now Bruce Hopkins coming on the Kemmel straight. He has got the beautiful run. Is he going to move? Oh, late lunge down the inside of Cole Bennett. Is Cole Bennett going to try to cover it? He is, but he's definitely not going to have the space. Cole Bennett, why would you do that? Oh, what a shame. And now Bruce Hopkins is trying to recover himself to get some speed. And it looks like the Bentley... looks like that Bentley is definitely trying to recover as he's coming around the track. What a shame there as the door got shut on. Bruce Hopkins had that corner. Cole Bennett should have checked up right behind him as they were coming through in this race. Cole Bennett still looking super racy. You know, side by side, Louis, here he goes. Cole Bennett squeezing the door on Louis, almost pushing him off a little bit here as they go side by side. Louis just trying to make it see what's going to happen here with 32 minutes left to play as they go through. Louis is going to check up. He knows he's got a pit strategy coming up with 22 minutes left to play. He's going to figure out what he can do to make something happen. Louis got to run on Cole. Now, can he make it stick? Cole's looking. Louis taking the look at the outside. Here he goes. Can he get the run on him on this back straight? Cole closes the door there a little bit. Louis is going to try to get the better run as Michelle's dived into the pits in P3. Here they go through the final chicane. Ooh, the back end kind of breaks out a little bit of Louis, but Louis gets a beautiful run in coming up. This right now is one of the closest battles we have in the grid here, but now as they get onto the main straight, can Louis make it stick here as they get onto the main straight? Ooh, there's Michelle going through the pits. For those that do not know, the Spa pit lane is excessively long. A little too long in my taste. As they go through here, Alejandro Martinez is looking really strong behind Josh Kimball. Oh, Tristan St. Louis dove in the pits. So that's going to allow Alejandro Martinez to get past. Here goes Louis. Is he going to make a move on the inside? He doesn't. Cole covers it. Here goes Louis. He's definitely looking to try to make something happen for these drivers. Ooh, Louis loses the back end a little bit. Has to try to... Tom Cassiani's in the pit. Ooh, we're going to jump down to... Let's see, where is he? Dominant Square and Tom Cassiani. It looks like Dominant Square and... Oh, Tom's dived over into the pits. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen, as we go through. Looks like Cole Bennett still in front of Louis on this down piece here. 513 has lost it a little bit. And that's going to be James Parks. Looks like he's possibly moving out of the way, or he just lost it a little bit. He jumped himself right back to pits. What a shame there. As he goes through, he's not having the race that he would like. Our leader, Aiden Hasbrock, has dove into the pits. He's going to try to do the overcut strategy as we jump down to Alan Zhu. Alan Zhu has made his way around Peter David. I apologize. We missed that, ladies and gentlemen, of that battle in that pass there through that corner in that Porsche. As we go through now, as we go through here, let's try to find some close battles. As we see Louis Ben Aurora, he is P8. He is 9/10 back off the pace. Now here comes Peter David. He's pushing as hard as possible. He is all over the back end of Alan Zhu. Peter David trying to still make something happen and trying to get that position back as he's pushing about 5/10 off. And Dominant Square in that BMW as well. Dominant Square back in P17. Looks like he lost it a little bit. That'll be an interesting one to see in the replay. See if that gets submitted between the drivers. And here comes Peter David as he's making his way onto the back straight up to the final chicane. Will these two drivers dive into the pits? They still have yet to serve their pits. Cooper in the pits, Louis in the pit, Kimball's in the pits. So now these drivers have reached their halfway mark in this race. Now we're going to start seeing people rotate, do a little bit of a pit rotation. Now the question is, who is going to try to stretch their tires out the longest before having to take a pit rotation here? As we see Peter David gets a beautiful run out of the hole against that Porsche. And here he goes. Onto the front straight. We're going to ride along board in the cockpit view. Yeah, you can see Peter David catching the brakes a little early, trying to make something stick there, so he didn't have to rear end that Porsche as they come through. Right now, Andrew Jaschke is leading the race, and it looks like Aiden Hasbrock is coming out in P12, and he has the fastest lap in that McLaren. Andrew Cooper P13. D Rosso, Dominant Square, they are both coming out of the pits. I apologize, they're in the pits. Tim Wilkins is in the pits. So now we're going to start seeing a lot of the shuffling of these drivers and where they were in their pit rotation. Peter David still 2/10 back from Alan Zhu, as Alan Zhu is trying to make something happen here in this battle as they go through. Yort is dove into the pits. The driver who was right battling with Casey Bennett, he is dove into the pits. Now Stefan Buckley is diving into the pits as well. A huge shout out to the drivers who have not received a penalty yet for a drive-through, knock on wood. That nobody has received that. Huge shout out to them. Let's see, where do we have any closer battles on the track other than this one? This is the only closest battle we have, ladies and gentlemen. Is Peter David trying to make something happen with Alan Zhu, but Alan Zhu is starting to step away from him as they come through down into the final chicane. Peter David just gets a better run into the braking zone than Alan Zhu. Like, Alan Zhu cannot brake deeper. It's Alejandro Martinez. He is in the pits. Ooh, car 60. You got a yellow car 60. Who is that? That's Bruce Hopkins. Ooh, Bruce Hopkins, what are you doing? He lost it right there coming out of the pits, what it looks like. What a shame there. Oh, he must have lost it up Eau Rouge. That is going to hold him back a little bit, but with the pit rotation, this may be able to, he'll still be good for a possible top 15 here in this race. As we go up to, let's take a look at the leader. Well, the previous leader, right, which was Aiden Hasbrock. He has made his way past Kevin Trons in that suit, silk cut McLaren. He's coming through here. That's an amazing looking car that we've got going on. As we see, it looks like Peter David has fallen back to about a second off the pace of Alan Zhu. Any predictions, ladies and gentlemen? We know Aiden Hasbrock has had a dominant start of the race, but we also know Jacob Michel is trying to make his way up to the podium spot as well in this race. But, you know, honestly, the question is who's going to come into P2, P3? Honestly, Andrew Jaschke's been looking super strong, but anything can happen. You know, a grid stop penalty, a pit stop, you know, anything can affect it as we ride along board. And we see now we have Kevin Torrance. He's fallen back substantially to Aiden Hasbrock in that Porsche as we go through here. And we have Casey Bennett diving into the pits. And Cole Bennett's diving into the pits. Now the question is, Don Queen going to stay out? Nope, Don Queen's going to dive in. Now here comes Bruce. Bruce is coming up to the final chicane. Is Bruce going to dive into the pits as he comes through? What a beautiful looking, simplistic green, yellow, and orange McLaren as he comes through here. Bruce. Yep, he is going in the pits. Now Alan Zhu. What do you got for us, Alan? Are you going into the pits or are you staying out? Alan's going into the pits. Peter David. Peter David staying out. As Aiden Hasbrock, the original leader, he has caught up to P6 after his pit rotation. He is coming through and he is looking super strong. Nice retro Liberty McLaren silk cut by Let's Race Taylor. What a wonderful livery it is. Yes, we allow custom liveries here in the league. As we go through, let's take a look. Where is the closest battle? Ooh, as Aiden Hasbrock trying to make something happen. He's going to go on the outside. Peter David cutting a little bit of the grass to let Aiden through here on the track. Now here comes Aiden. Now this still is battle for position. Peter David doesn't have to fully give it up to him, even though he hasn't pitted. But Peter David lets Aiden through as they make their way down the hill of Spa-Francorchamps. I have to say, this track is definitely an interesting one, to say the least, for these drivers as they make their way through the grid. As we're going to slide back down. Looks like Tristan San Luis, where are you? Here you are. You're all over the back of Alejandro Martinez. The BMW versus Ferrari. The Bronco Racing Ferrari of Alejandro Martinez trying to hold off Tristan San Luis in that BMW. Oh, and Cole Bennett gets a 30-second stop go. The number 7 go. And Jonathan Biscotto gets a drive-through. This is definitely going to shake everything up. Jonathan Biscotto was looking for a beautiful top 15 for the points, but at least with the drive-through, he can get in and get out and not have to worry about anything as the pit rotations are coming through. So at least he'll be a little bit salvageable in that P10. He could possibly get a P15. But Cole Bennett's race is pretty much shot right now, unless he tries to push that 30-second stop go as far as possible in the race. As Matt Atrim, he is all over the back of Cole Bennett here as they come through. The question is Cole going to give him a little bit of space and let him through because he knows that 30-second stop go is definitely ruining the race, or is he going to have to make Mr. Atrim work it as much as possible through here in this race? Peter David is the only driver who's still yet to pit, unless Andrew Jaschke is. Andrew Jaschke is in the pit. Cole Bennett going super wide there on the downhill of Puan as they come through. Atrim looking super strong in that Audi, super late on the brakes, definitely trying to get as Peter David dives into the pits. As Mr. Matt Atrim trying to make something happen in behind a Cole Bennett. Question is will Cole Bennett give it up? I bet the farm on Cole. Now I'm broke. At ASF, life was cool. I know, that's why you never bet on a losing card. Oh, what a shame. But it's okay. Spa is like a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's nice to you, sometimes it doesn't like you. As Artem is making his way through up to the final chicane. Question is Cole going to dive in the pits? Cole is going to stay out. Looks like he's going to stretch that out as Jonathan Biscotto is... apologize. Jonathan Biscotto is serving his drive-through. He's going to handle it and take care of it as they go through here. As we see Aiden Hasbrock made his way up to P1 with Jacob Michelle P2, Andrew Jaschke P3, Chrysler York P4 in that beautiful Vodafone McLaren. Looks like he phoned a friend. Managed to slot himself into P4 with Andrew Cooper sitting P5. But guess what? Stefan Buckley's right there, ladies and gentlemen. And he wants a taste of that top 5 finish. He's had a he's had a horrible season last season with a few incidences, but he's managed to crawl his way back up this season. We're going to knock out a win for him. And hope to God that he can make something happen here in that Audi as he comes through and down the hill. He wants that top 5 as much as possible. Ooh, he's going to look on the inside. Cole Bennett is going to leave the door open. And Buckley's just going to try to push him out as far as he can. But it looks like he loses the back end a little bit and has to recheck up. Now, Jonathan Biscotto, very fast driver. We've seen how the pace is. He was up in the top 10 here. Now he's sitting down in 16th. Now he's got to claw his way back up. Oop, actually, I apologize. The timing loop has to reset itself. He's sitting P18. But I have a feeling he can re-stretch his claws back up and make his way up the grid here at Spa. Question is Cole going to serve his 30-second stop go, or is he going to try to stretch that out to the end of the race and possibly get a penalty for it? As Alejandro Martinez was a little bit yellow lit up on the track, but it seems to be clear here on the race. Super late braking by Cooper, and that's going to allow Buckley to make the move. But, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Silva. Oh, sorry, Casey Bennett. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Casey Bennett's now in the picture, and he was in the top 5 here. So this is definitely looking good. Buckley's looking on the inside. Cooper's going to try to close the door a little bit and make, ooh, a little back end loss of the Cooper. Here comes Bennett. Bennett's looking on the inside. Cooper's going to try to cover side by side. These drivers go. Cooper's going to check up right behind the BMW. On the uphill they go. Will they get a run on the Audi? Is the Audi going to punch a massive hole for them as they come through? Buckley's going to cover the inside. He's going to slowly move his car over. Nope, it doesn't look like it. But here comes Bennett on the outside. Who's going to break the latest? Ooh, Casey Bennett breaks the latest. He's going to come over. He partially slides. Catches the curb. Casey Bennett knows he lost that position. He's going to give that position back to Buckley. What beautiful driving we have here, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it's done, as Cooper now has to try to make the work. As Cooper sends it down the inside. Originally, Casey was saying, hey, it doesn't mean I have to give you a position. And now they work their way back down the hill. They go. Buckley started in the back behind them, and he slotted himself up. Casey Bennett definitely showing his performance here at GT Meister Racing with 6. We have a yellow flag. Where is the yellow flag? Looks like the car 42 on the back end. Looks like Brian Douglas. Looks like Brian Douglas. Oh. Ooh, looks like he possibly lost it in that final chicane. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to switch back here with this amazing battle of Andrew Cooper and Stefan Buckley as they make their way through on the back half of the track. The McLaren is going to try to make something happen and work their way up. For those that are watching, if there's a driver that you would like to see, please let me know. I will slot them over as best as I possibly can so you guys can see that person during the race with 16 minutes left to play, 6 minutes left on the pit window. Or if you guys would just like me to stop talking, I can do that too. But I can't because I'm the commentator and this is what I do. And Andrew Cooper, he's going to try to late brake on the Audi and try to get a run. He late brakes right off the track. Both Audi and McLaren late brake themselves off the track. And that is definitely not looking good for them. And Cooper makes it past. And here comes Casey Bennett. Looks like Buckley lost it a little bit. He's going to give up the position and the place. Excuse me. As they go through here, ladies and gentlemen, on the main straight up to Eau Rouge and Radiant. It looks like Cole Bennett's going to serve his 30-second stop go. For those that don't know, that's a full drive-through and a 30-second stop go. We watched John Biscotto go from P10 all the way to P18. So this is definitely going to hurt him in the long run. As now we see Stefan Buckley. He's going to try to make his magic on Casey Bennett. As that Audi is definitely reeling in that BMW. I'm curious if that BMW's aero structure is. Let me see my boy Ricky Scott. You got it, Dank Roma. Here we go. Further down the grid we go here. Here is Ricky Scott. He is sitting P24. He is trying to claw his way back up with 14 minutes left to play. And he's got, looks like Alejandro Martinez is in the pits. Trying to figure out who he's got in front of him. He does have a Bentley. Looks like it possibly was lapped by, that's AJ Silva in front of him, and Louis right behind him in the blue flag situation. So he's definitely going to have to try to make something happen and work his way through here in this race. So what a shame there for him. He's definitely looking super strong, but we'll have to keep an eye on him for the next race, because the next race we're going to be at Donington Park, which is just a tad bit smaller than this one, and it's going to definitely see how these drivers perform in overall performance. Now let's just jump right back up there and take a look at this three-way battle, and we came back in perfect time. Casey Bennett gets the run on Andrew Cooper on the back straight with the red Audi right behind them. He's taking a look on the inside and the out. He's going to try to make something happen. Who's going to send it deep? Now Buckley gets the hole punched out by both of these cars with the draft. Buckley, question is Buckley going to make a move? Bennett tries the inside. Cooper breaks super late. Moves around a little bit. The Audi makes it stick. He's going to throw the car up in there deep. Ooh, he's going to wait it up. He knows he knows he did a little bit of a mistake right there. And he's going to allow things to go through. Now, we got a battle between Bruce Hopkins and Josh Campbell for P11. We're going to possibly jump down to that one really quick. We're going to wait for the timing loop to go through, and it looks like, nope, we're going to focus on this battle, as this battle is the only one that is really developing here throughout this whole race. As we see Andrew Jaschke, P2, Chrysler York, P3, Cooper, P4. Question is, what happened to Mr. Michelle? Jacob Michelle, he looks to be racing, but it looks like he possibly disappeared a little bit. I do not see Mr. Chico. Nope. He is definitely not in the standings as we race here. As they make their way down, with 12 minutes left to play, Casey Bennett trying to make something happen with Stefan Buckley and Andrew Cooper. Side by side they go. This battle is just developing like no other. Alan Zhu back in that 14, looking at Tristan San Luis in the 13. Ooh, wide Cooper goes. Casey Bennett's BMW's looking super plated here on towards the end of this series, but Buckley's making a last-minute charge here. Ooh, Bennett looks on the inside. Cooper goes a little bit wide. He loses the corner out. Here comes Bennett. Cooper has to check out. Bennett goes super wide. Now here comes Buckley. He possibly is going to give up the position and wait it out. Nope, those two drivers are going to check up right behind him and keep the battle going. Cooper has to catch the brakes. Now here comes Buckley. Buckley's going to have to catch the brakes. Cooper makes it past Bennett. Buckley wanted the position, but he knew he was nowhere to be there for the position. As they come through on the downhill, as we see Alan Zhu on the timing board. He is on the back end of Tristan San Luis. We're going to switch over here real quick and see. Nope, looks like he lost it a little bit. He was not all over the back end of him. The timing board lost it out. What a shame there. As we're going to jump right back aboard this three-way battle for the top 4 position. These drivers are just having it out as they go through. What a beautiful showing for Josh Kimball in that Lexus. He's the only driver that is rocking that Lexus here today. He's sitting P12 right now. It's going to give him a good solid amount of points as they make their way up the hill. And it looks like Buckley's falling back a little. He gets a little bit of a reel, but loses it all. Louis sitting 9/10 off the pace of AJ Silva for that P7 spot. That could put him even more points as he makes their way through down the hill that they go. Let's see, where's any more close battle? Ooh, Josh Kimball, commentator cursed, my apologies. Looks like Josh Kimball lost it a little bit in that Lexus. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The pit window is closed, and we have 10 minutes left to play. That means 10 minutes of duking it out here on this racetrack. And these drivers are trying to make something happen as they come through. And it looks like there was a car that had to pull over to the side of the road for blue flag situations, and that's fully understandable as this battle is starting to develop. As we're going to jump down with Kevin Torrens and Jonathan Biscotto as these guys. The timing loop is lying to me, ladies and gentlemen. These drivers are clearly not right next to each other. I apologize by that. So let's take a look and see who our closest battle is other than Casey Bennett, Andrew Cooper, Chrysler York. We're going to ride along board. We have Aiden Hasbrock. He's sitting P1 as he's making his way down the grid. With Andrew Jaschke P2 in that BMW. Jacob Michelle, he is not in the race. We're just definitely going to have to shame on that. He definitely did a wonderful battle there in this race. As we see Chrysler York, he's kind of alone by himself. He's had an amazing performance in P3 with Andrew Cooper as we see Casey Bennett on the outside trying to make something stick. Here they go through Buckley, taking a look on the inside. Side by side, these guys must be super exhausted and tired through this whole entire battle as they make their way through up Eau Rouge and to Radion as we see James Parks McLaren sitting there in the pits. That Audi's definitely trying to use that BMW to punch a hole through the air to make something happen. They're just freight training as much as they can, but it seems as though Casey Bennett's going super wide, but he's going to cover the inside and make Buckley work for it here. As they start to go do the downhill, number 47. A little bit of a yellow on 47. That's going to be Tom Cassiani. It looks like he's possibly moving out of the way for some of the top drivers as they come through Spa here, and here they come down the hill. Here goes Casey Bennett. He's going to try to hold off everybody. He makes his car so much more planted than the other two cars of the McLaren and that Audi as he comes through here on this downhill piece. Louis Banora definitely looking at AJ Silva right now. He's about, let's take a look. Looks like, oh, here we go. Louis and AJ Silva in this battle. The Bentley and the BMW. He is losing the back end a little bit. They just got past Ricky Scott, the back marker, as they come through. It looks like Ricky Scott is allowing number 47 Tom Castellani through. It looks like Ricky Scott may have also lost it a little bit. Here we go. Can Louis make something happen? He looks super strong in the first 10 minutes, but his overall pace has died here in this race. And John Biscotti, did he finally catch Peter David for the final points? Looks like he did. And Aiden Hasbrook has caught Josh Kimball. So now this battle for P14 is starting to develop. Jonathan Biscotti is definitely, Biscotto, I apologize. Thank you, Dark Roma. I do the best, and I try to lose my voice the earliest with commentating. As we see John Biscotto now 3/10 back from Peter David as he's making his way through. That's P15. Now Peter David knows he's going to need to make something happen on Josh Kimball in that Lexus as they come through. Here on the back straight, we have 5 minutes and 48 seconds left to play as these drivers are battling it out, and they're trying to make something happen here. Let's see what we can do here. We know Peter David can show the pace, but John Biscotto is looking super strong. He was up in the top 10. He had a little bit of a drive-through, so now he's trying to make it happen. He's looking. Can he make it stick? Super late, all over the bumper. On the start-stop finish line. Looks like we have a driver with a drive-through and down it to the bottom. That's Ricky Scott. Oh, he's probably going to call it a day here for this race, ladies and gentlemen. He is not really feeling it. Here they go. Can Biscotto get the run on Peter David for the final point here in the race? He's going to try to. David covers the inside, squeezes the door, has him slow up a little bit. Ooh, Jonathan catches a lot of that curve. You can see that car shake a little bit as they get on the back straight. Ooh, that was good by Peter David. It caused him to lose a little bit, Jonathan to lose a little bit on the back straight of the Camel Straight to where he couldn't make anything happen. But we've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to play, and it looks like Louis finally reeled in the driver he needs, and that's AJ Silva in that Bentley. Now the question is, can Louis make it stick to get that P7 that we've all been talking about and all been wanting? Here we go. What does drive DT mean next to Ricky Scott? That means he has a drive-through, and that means he has to serve a drive-through through the pits. So with Spa, the drive-through, if I'm correct, it's roughly about, I think it's like 45 seconds just to go into the pit, and then the drive-through, and that's not including to have to do a pit stop. There, Dank Roma. And Louis looks like he tapped a little bit of back end of AJ Silva. He was clean. He stopped. He waited. He allowed AJ Silva to get back up and racing. What a very nice job of these drivers. Super clean, very professional by everybody. Ooh, here comes Louis. He's got the run. The question is, does that mean that AJ Silva may have a little bit more damage than he wanted? But he's looking on the inside. Louis covers the inside. Here comes Silva on the outside, heavy on the braking. Silva loses it, but he's kind of have to resettle himself here on the corners. As A-Trim, the driver, we're going to give this driver a huge shout out. Where is he? Mr. 9. Mr. 9 and Matt A-Trim, huge shout out to you. You know, for coming in through quality, no real practice time here for the race with us. Huge shout out to you to make up to P9 here in this race. Huge shout out. As we see Jonathan Biscotto, we're going to drop back down with him. He's 310. Ooh, did Peter David lose it? Oh, did Peter David lose fuel? Or is he just waiting for cars to go through? I think he's waiting for cars to go through. Ooh, what happened there? We're actually going to try to drop back 10 seconds and see. Oh, no. That is not it. We're going to try to drop back 10 seconds and see if we can see what had happened with him. But it doesn't look like it really gave us anything. So now Peter David is P16. He's going to have Kevin Torrance all over the back. Josh Kimball P15. And then Jonathan Biscotto, he is a little all over the place right now. Looks like he's trying to recover his race here. As we see Casey Bennett now 3/10 off the back. This is a chance for the top four. Oh, it is. Casey Bennett P4, Andrew Cooper in P5. Andrew Cooper looking on the inside. We have 1:35 left to play. This is going to be their last lap of the race. Andrew Cooper sends it on the inside. Casey Bennett definitely looking to make something happen. Thank you, Dank Roma, that everybody drives like gentlemen. I try to, you know, as the league owner, I try to push for everybody to drive professionally and clean as possible. If you make a mistake, you know, own up for it. Don't just try to drive away. You know what I mean? If there's a chance, try to pull over, stop, and let the guy back through. You know, and then keep racing. You know, it's only fair to everybody in the league for that to happen. I mean, it's not fair for anybody to, you know, blast someone in a corner and then just keep driving off, you know. But if you're looking at racing, you know, you're more than welcome to come out, race with us and everything else like that. We're definitely looking for reserve drivers here in the league. As we get going here, let's take a look. Let me try to get you guys an invite link. Through the Discord if you guys want to join us. Now we see Casey Bennett all over the back. Ooh, he power slides it. Whoa. We have a D1 drifter here in GT Meister, and his name is Casey Bennett in that BMW with 12 seconds left to play. As we get forward here, let's see, where is the leader? The leader is on the Camel Straight. He is in front of Alan Zhu, the P13 driver. So he will be finishing up his lap here in the race as he comes around the bends. As we go through, I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. As we see Casey Bennett still trying to make something happen here with Andrew Cooper. Andrew Cooper manages to slot out of P4. Stefan Buckley had to check out in P6. But Casey Bennett definitely looking super strong in his performance here in his first GTMR race. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he has only picked up ACC not that long ago. Like, I believe it's about a month or so ago. So these two drivers are still looking super strong. And this race is, they have one more lap to go. They have not been lapped. So let's take a look. Who do we have in the closest battle? Looks like we have Kevin Torrance. So where is Kevin? Kevin, number P17. He is all over the back of Peter David. These two know each other too well from the E Seniors League as he's making his way down the hill. This battle is going to be such a substantial part of their life as they come through here. Beautiful run. Catches a little bit too much of that curbing. It's going to slow out on that Porsche as he couldn't make something happen. 84 looked like Ricky Scott. It is not his race today here at Spa. What a shame there for him. You know, we'll just have to have him bounce back at Donington Park and perform as we see Aiden Hasbrook as he crosses the line here for the completion of the Spa Grand Prix. And that is your opening winner here at Spa, Aiden Hasbrook. As the drivers are coming through, it looks like some of them, Tristan St. Louis. Let's take a look at Casey Bennett and Andrew Cooper. These two drivers are still battling it out. Casey Bennett looking on the outside in, inside out. Here they go through their final couple of corners. This is the closest battle we have on track. Question is, can Casey Bennett reel Andrew Cooper in? He rides a lot of that curve there as they come through onto the back chute of the double right-hand turn. Ooh, can he get a run? Looks like he's reeling him in. We're going to ride along board on the dash. Now onto the back straight. Here comes Casey Bennett. He's going to try on the inside. He's going to send it. Ooh, he's going to do a switchback. Super late braking. He's going to try to get Andrew Cooper to make a mistake. Here they go. Casey gets the acceleration. Can he get across the line before Andrew Cooper? Andrew Cooper's going to take it. 0.105 away. Cole Bennett finishes P5. Lou, he's going to cross the line in P6. AJ Silva bringing that Bentley home into P7. Stefan Buckley is going to be bringing his car home into P8. Matt Atrim is coming through the final chicane. He's going to bringing his car home in P9. And then we're going to take a look at Don Queen as Don Queen is coming through here. Don Queen is going to be bringing his car home in P10 with Bruce Hopkins rounding it out in P11. Ladies and gentlemen, huge shout out to the drivers that are participating as we still have Tom Castellani on the track. We're going to ride along board him in the Honda as he's managed to slide himself into P19 and he is going to cross the line. Congratulations to all the drivers. Huge shout out. Amazing finish for these drivers. I mean, Knox Stills. Hey, everybody's race. Everybody's race is not everybody's race, but you know what? Huge shout out to you for participating and keep pushing forward. Definitely amazing. Now, we'll give us 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be getting the actual podium finishers here to have their talk. To have a talk with them as we go through. I apologize. Let me just switch this around a little bit as we go through. Boop. Now let's go get some of these podium finishers as we go through. Now we are going to have Chrysler Yort. He finished, so let's just grab, see, we have BRL, Mr. Phantom in here. And then we're going to just, we have Aiden Hasbrook in here. We're going to grab Chrysler Yort really quick and slot him down in here. I just want to give a huge shout out to all the viewers as we get started with our podium interviewers so we can get the drivers on their way. And I apologize for some of them that were probably in a little bit of a chat and then they got moved around a little bit. So we're going to jump along board and talk with the legend and the man himself, Mr. Chrysler Yort, here in the Vodafone McLaren that finished P3. Congratulations, huge shout out, good sir. And I mean, we saw your pace last season, some of your stuff last season, you weren't able to really fully showcase your potential. And we didn't, you know what I mean? But now at Spa, opening of the season, you came out strong, you put the car in the top 5. I mean, but you had a lot of competition between Andrew Cooper, Casey Bennett, Stefan Buckley, kind of looking on the outside in. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, I started P3. I was super excited about that spot. It's not my strongest track. I did a pretty good qualifying. So P3, that was a good start for me. Then I was battling the Bennett brothers. Are they brothers or at least related? I'm
They're
sure.
cousins, yes.
Cousins. Okay, so I was battling the cousins. So I passed one, and then the other passed me. So I don't know if they worked in cahoots, but we had a great scrap there, really good. Then someone came up and took the third place. And I think he disappeared, and that's why I'm in P3.
Oh, yes, I know the driver that you're talking about. Yes, but at the end of the day, the final results is the final results, and you,
Yeah.
sir, deserve P3. You've had that position all race, and you definitely showed super strong. Now, do you have someone that you can clearly call out in this race that is possibly a competitor? Who is your rival, sir?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Aidan, but I always seem to drive a little bit around, uh, Phantom. So we seem to be around each other in the race often. So I would say that's one of them. Or great driver, Andrew, really good driver. So always enjoying battle with him.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Chrysler York definitely calling out Andrew Jaschke, or AKA Phantom, in the Discord about his performance, and had said he wants to take the battle completely. So we are definitely going to now jump over to the second place finisher, Mr. Phantom. As we go through, we're going to take it. As we're gonna ride along, as we're gonna bring up his car in the showroom and have a talk with Mr. Jaschke. Now it seemed like you had a sorry, kind of losing my voice after doing all of that. It's a little different when you have a lot more cars on the track. You guys had an amazing start. Seemed like Hasbrook kind of got away from you a little bit at the start, going up Eau Rouge, which is normal basically because you have all the cars behind you and everything else like that. But most of your race was just trying to maintain that pace from P3 and back, Andrew. Now, what overall? I mean, we didn't see Xander here. He's one of your top big competitors. Aiden came out swinging. Now the question is what are you going to do to prepare going into Donington to take the battle back to Hasbrook?
I mean, realistically, I don't think there's going to be much of a battle between my end, just knowing of the overall pace with Hasselbrock and Xander.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be more of just trying to keep up as much as I can points wise, and then if any of them miss a race, at least gain as many points as possible. But overall, pace wise on track, I don't think I'll relatively be around those guys. They'll probably be generally like half second faster or so. So I think it's going to be at least a more of like best the rest fight with me with Krister and I believe both Bennett guys. So it's going to be a battle between P3 to top 5. But overall, still happy with P2, especially with Xander missed here. But we'll be excited to see how my pace compares to the top 2 guys for Donington, which I believe is our next race here.
Yes, it is Donington, one of the most tracks that I love substantially, considering that downhill piece almost kind of reminds you of Eau Rouge, but the opposite way. And it's I mean I'm kind of happy that you kind of sat there and took Yort's little challenge that he did towards you, in that pace performance. And it's definitely interesting because the McLarens are looking super strong, especially with Andrew Cooper coming in P4 in his McLaren, and Casey Bennett also coming in P5 with his BMW. So that's definitely an interesting one, and as well as the dark horse, Mr. Stefan Buckley. Now going to our race finisher and leader of the championship series so far now, the one, the only, Mr. Andrew Jaschke. Welcome to the table here. You had a little bit of a dominating lead, a dominating race. It looked like a driver had a chance of possibly taking the battle to you, but it didn't look like it was really working out very well. Now talk us through your race overall. I mean, were you just kind of like in your own little world? We did see that you did separate yourself a bit of a gap to P2, or were you just pretty much just kind of just like, hey, we'll just keep everything steady?
Yeah, it was kind of boring, but in a good way. I did have one spin, but I fixed that pretty early on with just a brake bias change. That didn't happen again. But had a good qualifying. Um, really not much to say. Taking
Now,
the momentum from last year, and hopefully I can do same thing at Donington.
now is Donington for yourself a very strong track, or is it a track where it's going to be a little bit of a struggle for you?
Uh, Probably a little bit more of a struggle. I'll have to do some work there. Um, Bath's probably one of my strongest tracks, and McLaren's pretty good there. Uh, but yeah, I'll do some practice and see how I end up.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our new championship leader so far for the season and defending championship winner of last season is definitely going to have to put his effort in. As we know, both Chrysler Yort and Andrew Jaschke and now Lane Zander, when he comes back, are definitely going to want to push and take the fight to him at Donington Park, and especially with the other drivers, because everybody's pace is different and the BOP for all the cars are completely different when you go from track to track. For those that are not viewing, I just want to have a huge shout out to the viewers coming out and racing and all the other drivers. We actually had a drive where there was no major incidences the whole entire race in this season for this race for the season. And we're hoping to take this and push it through the rest of through all the other races through the season. And I just want to say thank you guys very much. If you guys would like to join us, check us out on SimGrid. You will find us there. We are taking reserve drivers as well for the season, and we'll get you in as soon as possible. My name's Axia. I just want to wish you guys a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and hope you guys have a wonderful night. As we sign off here, take care and have a wonderful night.